Calaroga Shark Media.
Hey, I'm Johnny Mac with 5 good news stories. Hope you had a good Christmas. So I'm going to try and do this 3 days a week now. In the past, it's been twice a week, and then you guys responded really well to going every day at Christmas time. And I want to thank Aster for helping out with those. So I'm going to try and do Monday, Wednesday, Friday heading forward. I didn't put out an episode on Christmas Day. Figured you had something else to do. So this week we'll do Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week, including New Year's Day. Speaking of which, if you're planning on partying New Year's Eve, good news. Scientists have figured out the reason why drinking red wine can leave some people with a banging head. Researchers have found that a natural flavanol compound in red wines can interfere with the metabolism of alcohol, which leads to a headache. The University of California team in Davis says it's all about quercetin, which is naturally present in many fruits and vegetables, including grapes. A professor says if you grow grapes with the clusters exposed, such as they do in Napa Valley for their Cabernets, you get much higher levels of quercetin. The next step is to test it scientifically on people who develop headaches from red wine. Stay tuned, they say. Community members knew that the late Jeffrey Holtz was a reserved man who liked simple things. What they didn't know, he was sitting on a $3.8 million fortune. He left behind most of his money to the town of Hinsdale. The town administrator said the town and other community committees can apply annually for a grant of $150,000 to be used for health education, culture, or recreation. The town is considering using the money for an electronic ballot machine since Holt was an avid voter. Good news, the average life expectancy in the U.S. is now 77.5 years old. It turned around a little bit. It's an increase of 1.1 years over the 2021 numbers. A demographer at the CDC says the good news is that life expectancy increased for the first time in 2 years. The not-so-good news is the increase in life expectancy only accounted for less than 50% of the loss that was experienced between 2019 and 2021. In 2020 and 2021, COVID-19 became the third leading cause of death after heart disease and cancer. Average U.S. life expectancy dropped by 2.4 years. The current 77.5 years is the level it was at 2003. Most of the gains in 2022 U.S. life expectancy came from fewer COVID deaths. Researchers in South Africa say they have rediscovered a species of mole. This mole has a golden coat and the ability to almost swim through sand dunes. And it hadn't been seen in more than 80 years. It was thought to be extinct. Good job by the De Winton golden mole, a small blind burrower with super hearing powers that eats insects. It was found to be still alive on a beach on the west coast of South Africa. Nobody had seen it since 1936. With the help of a sniffer dog, the team found traces of tunnels, discovered a golden mole in 2021. They took a DNA sample, and now 2 De Winton golden moles have been confirmed and photographed. Esther is a senior field officer with the Endangered Wildlife Trust and says it was a very exciting project with many challenges. Luckily, we had a fantastic theme full of enthusiasm and innovative ideas, which is exactly what you need when you have to survey up to 11 miles of dune habitat in a day. The De Winton golden mole was on a most wanted lost species list compiled by the Re-Wild Conservation Group. Others on the list that have been rediscovered include a salamander found in Guatemala in 2017, 42 years after its last sighting, and an elephant shrew, seen in 2019, its first sighting since 1968. Good news, we caught the kangaroo, and for once, the kangaroo story is not happening in Australia. No, this happened in Quebec. The kangaroo was en route to a zoo when it escaped its handlers. Police spotted a female kangaroo that was on the run for several days near Toronto, Canada. Time out. Did you see recently there was a bull on the PATH train in Newark, New Jersey by New York City? There's a hilarious video on the internet of a bull running down the tracks. Anyway, the kangaroo at one point was seen running alongside a street. A video that had made the rounds on social media. One of the kangaroos escaped its handlers as it was being unloaded. The park supervisor said, that one jumped right over them. They lost control of it. It was just able to simply run right across into a bunch of farm fields. The escape sparked a 4-day search and rescue mission. There were multiple sightings of the kangaroo. Paul Rellinger told CBC, it was a little bit odd to start our reporting. At first he thought it was a deer, but quickly realized it was a kangaroo. I've seen both. They're very different looking. To be fair, Rellinger said, who expects to see a kangaroo, especially in this part of the world? In a news release, the Durham Regional Police said the kangaroo was caught when it stopped to take a break. The statement says, while doing so, the officers managed to sneak up behind her and grab her tail. The kangaroo surrendered peacefully and was taken back to the zoo. It's now hanging out with some other animals, keeping warm and eating a nice meal. That's your 5 good news stories for today. If you enjoy the show, tell a friend about it. Maybe they'll enjoy it as well. If you see a kangaroo, let me know, unless you're in Australia, in which case, yeah, you saw a kangaroo. You're not impressed. I was there. I get it. See you tomorrow.